Clayton Keller's been on the Chirp before, but this is totally different. The Coyotes coming off an epic surge through their schedule. We'll address that, running the gauntlet through Stanley Cup champions, and the secret to Andre Tourigny's success as a coach. This is research, this is learned, and this is applied coaching philosophies. Plus, the real reason to stage next year's 4-team in-season tournament. I'm owning it. It's the Chirp Podcast with Darren Millard.
Boys, I'm Mike today. Just let everyone know, don't say anything stupid.
Heads up! Oh, how'd that feel, old man? That's a disgrace! That's a disgrace! What a joke!
Hit him, light him up.
Yeah, nice hit! That's solid.
All right, we're all pumped up, ready to go. A lot of things to touch on this week, and we'll pop in and out of different areas, but the interview with Clayton Keller coming up is revealing in the sense of how much he allows all the noise to get inside that dressing room and his own personal space, and what Andre Tourigny has meant to his elevation of his game. There's something special going on there. Imagine this. Arizona makes the playoffs, and then there's a playoff game at the Mullet. I don't think a lot of people have taken time to really absorb that possibility, but right now they are on track for that. Ways to go. A team that's in a really good spot right now occurs out of the Southern California market and then the Los Angeles Kings, and it's one of the most unique approaches to a run at a division title. They're located in Southern California, but really the LA Kings' dominance is scattered all across the National Hockey League, with the LA Kings' record for road wins extending into double digits to start the season. Teams don't usually do a majority of their damage away from home. And think about it right now. You play 42 road games. You're already into double digits to start the year without a defeat. You're looking at 25 wins to 30 on the road if you're 500 or a little bit better the rest of the way. That puts you into 50-win, 55-win season. That gives everybody optimism in LA that this will really give the Stanley Cup champions a push in that Pacific Division. And so you've got the road success. Then you also have to factor in that Los Angeles is the team that puts the lowest amount of money into their goaltending. And they're getting some great play out of Cam Talbot. The second biggest save percentage increase year to year is happening. Actually, he's number one. Marvelous job by Jordan Binnington and Cam Talbot. Talbot's trading places. Binnington's in St. Louis. But they're 1-2 with Cam Talbot being the best in the best improvement from year to year in save percentage. So is he earning his money? And they look like geniuses right now. It's a protected environment for goaltenders. I'm not going to say Talbot's doing it all on his own, but it shows that you can go at this a different way. I think much on the heels of what Bruce Cassidy and Vegas did a year ago. They're also getting like renaissance performance out of Anze Kopitar. I can't even say renaissance because he's been great for the last couple of years, and a breakthrough season from Quentin Byfield, and Trevor Moore is one of my favorites. LA's chasing the Kings for the Pacific Division title. That division has really separated into a couple of groups, which includes Vancouver. Those are the ins, the cool kids, and then you have the outside looking in. Edmonton and Seattle, playoff teams a year ago, they're scrapping and clawing right now. And Calgary also in the mix. They're all looking at right now a wild card spot. And maybe if they really get hot, they might be able to chase down or have a look at a top 3 position in the Pacific. But at this point, it's Vegas, it's Vancouver, and it's LA as your top 3. Past the third mark of the National Hockey League season. And who would have thought that the Central Division, coming into this year, I had them as probably the weakest division. Well, I did have them as the weakest division. Shouldn't say probably. Stick to my my preseason analysis. I didn't have the Central as a major player. But at this point, as I talk right now, the Central has both wild card spots. And a big reason why that's happening is the play of the Arizona Coyotes. And that kind of leads me into this. The NHL trophy races are something that we like to jump in and out of at times. But you look at the Art Ross, the Hart, the Vezina, the Norris. It's all wide open. Jack Adams, who's coach of the year? There's certainly some guys that have done great jobs again. Vegas coming off a Stanley Cup championship competing. Jim Montgomery, great in Boston. But then people like to vote with their most improved hats on, and you get some teams that have jumped into the mix like Detroit or like Arizona. I only have one category where a player has separated himself from the field, and that is Connor Ingram in the chase to win the Masterton for perseverance and dedication. Connor Ingram, the goaltender with Arizona, tried to retire a couple of years ago. He was with Nashville, walked in the office, said, I'm done. Didn't want to do it anymore. He was convinced to get treatment, and through therapy, Connor Ingram was diagnosed with OCD. He's now with Arizona. He's worked his way back into a full-time National Hockey League position and then has added to it by playing his way into being the number one guy with the Coyotes and has them in a playoff position right now. The Coyotes just went through the toughest stretch of the schedule this year. They played the last 5 Stanley Cup champions in a row. What a genius work of the schedule that is. In one way, you can market that and sell that as your team as a challenge. On the other way, I'd be thinking, that's a heck of a hill to climb. This could knock us off stride. So it's an opportunity on one side, and that's the way Arizona looked at it. We'll get more on how they approached it and tackled it in a second, but it was an incredible opportunity, and they ran the table. 10 points out of a possible 10. And that forces us to really give the Coyotes some love. And it was Clayton Keller that answered the call. So let's talk about the Coyotes with Clayton. He's their top guy. He's playing with Logan Cooley on that number one line. And what a acquisition he was to get him to leave college early. And then you've got the Connor Ingram story. And there's international implications with the Arizona Coyotes, especially with Clayton Keller, who joined us again on The Chirp with Darren Millard. Completely honest, did you realize that you had this run of games against previous Stanley Cup champions on your schedule?
No, not really. I think, our team had, a rough stretch there. We lost a couple games and, kind of had a team meeting and kind of looked at, who we played the next game and just took it one game at a time and started to play better. And now looking back, I guess it is pretty crazy. And who knows if that'll happen again, where one team plays, consecutive games against, all the teams that have won.
What were you feeling when you looked up the schedule and saw that?
Honestly, I don't know. Not much. I think, what I try to do is just take it, day by day, game by game, and not look too far ahead. So, maybe after like the second or third game, we kind of like, oh, these are, some great teams and, teams that have won.
Is this the most fun, the best run that you've been on?
I think it's definitely up there. We've shown, good stretches here and there, and, it's early, and I think, you don't want to get too high and, think of, how good we are, but, I think we still have a long way to go and we're learning and, you're going to have ups and downs. So I think, we're just trying to, stay in the moment and go from there.
But it's a pretty good measuring stick when you go through a gauntlet like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, we had, a couple rough games there before the Vegas game and, just, kind of going over a lot of things and, team meetings and things that, we needed to clean up if, we wanted to be successful. And if we didn't, those 5 games or whatever could have got ugly. So it's nice to see it go the other way.
Can you take me into what changed, whether it was tactically or just perception of your execution?
Yeah, I think, we kind of got away from defending a little bit and, caught on the wrong side of pucks, just little things like that. And, I think it was great for our team to, kind of maybe hit a wall there and, learn from it. I think, we did a great job of responding and, showing what we can do when, we play for each other or play the right way and, have fun every single night.
Who is the loudest voice in some of those meetings? Is there somebody that can get credit for this?
I think it's everyone. I think, we're a pretty tight, group and, our coaches, really listen to, our input and it's kind of a, back and forth relationship. So it's nice to have that. I wouldn't say it's, one guy. I think it's everyone.
Because sometimes those meetings can get a little heated. What were yours like?
They were pretty good. Maybe some, clips that, maybe you didn't want to watch. From, everyone, not just singling out one guy or anything like that, just kind of going over, simple mistakes and, things that, we needed to clean up, like I said, and that's, part of the job. And, when you always have those, you always want to respond and play for, your teammates and your coaches as well.
You've had individual success, but part of me thinks that you experiencing this run, you got to reflect back and go, this is what it's supposed to feel like playing in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going through the rebuild a couple of years and almost needing our plus game every single night to win, and now we have a great roster, coaching staff. I think it shows we're making steps in the right direction, and we still have a long way to go, but it's nice to have some success here early, and like I said, we just want to keep it going.
You're right in the mix right now. I know you know that, but I feel like it bears reiterating.
Yeah, definitely. We've played some great hockey clubs, and you want to play your best against the best teams, and obviously even the Central is a lot of great teams, a lot of games where maybe we should have won and we didn't, and ones that we stole. So you're just, like I said, taking it game by game.
But can you allow yourself at all to look ahead and say, are we ahead of schedule? Are you ahead of schedule?
It's tough. I think we're a super young team, and we're learning how to be a good team, and how the best teams do it consistently, and every single night they show up, and they play a certain way, and the winning teams seem to do it more than others, and I think that's something that we're kind of going through and we're figuring out, and I think that's all I'd have to say, honestly.
And you're getting some great goaltending by Connor Ingram, who has usurped Andre for the starting job with some masterful play. How well did you know Connor before he joined your group?
Yeah, not super well. He joined us, last year, kind of midway through the year, and I didn't know too much. I played against him in the World Juniors there, but that was it. And he came in from the first day, and worked super hard, and he's always been super talented, and he's off to an unbelievable start this year, and even in practice you can see the swagger and how good he is, really.
And his story is incredible, what he's been able to overcome. Does that make you extra sensitive to being elated for somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to see him have success and to kind of overcome that hurdle and come out on the right side, and just even his story, other people can look at that, and people that are going through similar situations can look up to that, and it's motivating for everyone. So it's super awesome to have a guy like that on our team and playing so well.
Playing at the Mullet is a different situation, but have you noticed that, because the opposition has a lot of people in there, have you noticed a different vibe in the last little bit at your own rink?
Yeah, I mean, I think every game is a good experience, and great for the fans. It's super close to the ice, and usually super loud, especially if we're playing big name team or anything like that. So, it's great to have people in there and kind of.
But you know what I mean? Like the other teams travel well because it's great weather and they make a vacation out of it. I'm
Sure.
wondering whether the Arizona fans are louder lately and with this start.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like you said, it's great to see that. It's a unique experience. Sometimes the fans will be going back and forth. So it's pretty fun to be a part of, and we just want to fill that building with all of our fans.
What can you tell me about Andre Tourigny and what he's been able to do in his time with you under his tutelage?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely a player's coach. He's such a caring guy. He really, I think he treats everyone differently. I think we kind of had a test, a couple of years ago, just like a personality test, learning how to coach everyone. So I think that goes to show how much he does care, and he might have to coach me differently than someone else, and someone else differently than the other person. So I think that's what makes him great, and he's definitely hard on us, and we all want to play for him, and he definitely tells you straightforward how it is. If you're playing well, you're not playing well, and here's what to work on. And he's always looking for solutions, players input on things. He's not shutting us out of any of the conversations or new ideas. So I think everyone on our team would tell you the same thing. Yet we love playing for him, and that's a guy that want to go to war with.
Hey, can you tell me more about this test or the course or whatever he took about coaching different people different ways?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a long list of just different questions, and I guess everyone answers it differently. There's some like multiple choice on just how you react to certain situations or things like that. And I thought that was pretty cool to see him do that and learn to really know everyone, because everybody is different and they react differently to different things.
How does he coach you then?
Yeah, I think definitely super competitive, and especially in games, I get pretty fired up, and I always want to make a difference and make an impact. And I think he does a great job when I'm getting maybe too high or too hard or yelling too much. I think he's good at calming me down, and there's definitely times where he can yell at you or things like that, but it comes from a good place, and that's he's just trying to get the best out of you to perform and help the team win.
I have one kid that I have to yell, settle down. And then I have another kid where if I say, yell, settle down, she's done for a week. Which one are you?
I guess a little bit of both. I like, sometimes to, hear it and give it to me. And, that ultimately, one makes me perform better. So that's kind of how I've always looked at it, I guess, is, when someone is hard on you, that shows that they care and they want you to succeed. And so that's kind of how I look at it.
What do you think of Logan Cooley's start to his National Hockey League career?
Yeah, Jules has been, he's been great. It's been great to get to know him, spend some time with him. Obviously, we had, some conversation in the summer. Such a talented, skilled player, and definitely one of the fastest players I've ever, played with. He can, fly on the ice. So, it's great to, play on a line with him now and start to figure each other out. I think, chemistry, can take some time. And I think him and Nick Schmaltz are kind of learning that now. And, it's good to have some success last game and, build on that from there. But, from what I've seen, he's, such a great player. He wants to get better. He works hard, and you can tell, he's puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's, kind of quiet like I was or still am, but he definitely wants to be the best and, succeed.
What's the unlock code or unlock area that makes it click when you guys start going?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can definitely be super good on the rush. He's got so much speed, and he's super smart, and we can back a lot of teams off and use our speed to our advantage. And I think that's something we're kind of figuring out. And like I said, I think chemistry takes a while, like to just know guys' tendencies and knowing where guys are at. And like I said, I think we're just figuring that out now. We're getting a little bit better each game, and that's fun to be a part of. It's a challenge, playing together here. So I'm looking forward to it.
How much have you been following the possibility of the in-season tournament next year?
A little bit, not too much, I haven't heard a ton about it, I guess, but yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I think when the World Cup of Hockey was on, and whenever that was so fun to watch. And I watched every single game, and was wishing that they did that every single year. So yeah, I think that'll be definitely great for the game for sure.
Do you start going through, or do you spend any time on maybe Team USA's lineup and what it could look like and where you would fit?
Not really. No, I think
I do like every country, but you don't do it at all?
No, not really. No, I don't. I'm just, focused on, the season, and the extra stuff will take care of itself.
Okay. Olympics, that is on the horizon too. Where are you on that front?
Same thing.
Not thinking about it at all?
No.
I think you're just playing with me.
Yeah, there's stuff to worry about.
Okay. Where were you drafted? What city?
Buffalo.
Oh, he was the Buffalo draft? Okay, the Austin man. Okay. Because they're talking about the Sphere.
That sounds awesome. My parents actually went to the U2 concert there. I think it was last month, and they showed me a bunch of videos and stuff. My mom said it was like unbelievable, like the sound of the music and like the screen behind. So I think, yeah, that's definitely pretty cool for sure. I'm sure maybe other leagues will follow after if it goes well.
Who hooked them up with tickets?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Because that's a good pull right now.
Yeah. They said it was awesome.
Who would you like to see at the Sphere if you could watch a band?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'd probably have to say like Pearl Jam or Red Hot Chili Peppers, one of those two. I think that'd be pretty special.
Okay, if they play, I'll get the tickets. We'll go.
Perfect.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
I think Clayton ponders the Olympics or next year's 4-team in-season international tournament that the National Hockey League and the NHLPA are going to get together on a little bit more than he lets on. I go through it, and I'm wondering who are going to be Team Canada's 4 centers. Team USA's down the middle, stacked. On the wing, Team USA is so good. Clayton Keller does fit into that mix, but how much is going to be infused from players that have never played on the big stage, like a best on best or a best on almost best, as we're going to see next year? That's going to be the real story for that 4-team tournament between Finland and Sweden and Canada and Team USA. It's not going to be, at least on the outset, until you get down to the last game, it's not going to be about who's the best nation in the world. Honestly, it's going to revolve around the debuts of the likes of Connor McDavid in a Team Canada uniform playing best on best, or Connor Bedard. He's got to fit in there next year. Auston Matthews and Jack Eichel on Team USA. We haven't seen them in that position before. The Hughes brothers, all on Team USA. Could you see it? Clayton, Cale Makar, going down the list of these players that we have not seen in this position of a best on best. World championships, yes, but not in this situation. And you can't play off of any other roster because it's too long ago. Got close with the Olympics in a couple of years ago in 2022, but didn't get there. So this is going to be brand new. The Olympics in 26 in Italy, that will be about winning. Who's going to take the gold medal? But this is almost perfect for the federations, for the coaching staffs that get named to the teams to have this run, and for the players to be able to go through this and play under your federation, Team USA, Team Canada, Finland, Sweden, to be able to be on this stage as we have a certain amount of turnover, a lot of turnover from the last time that we went through this best on best to right now. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, who does Connor McDavid play with? We know how exceptional he is in Edmonton, but how does he slot in? And the Team USA, the firepower that's coming out of that is going to be just wonderful to watch. And I won't even get into the goaltending right now, but there's a lot there. Touched on the Masterton Trophy. Wanted to loop back just for a second, as I had a thought in my head as I was talking to Clayton. The Jack Adams Award has a tendency to go to the team that improves the most. I'm not a big fan of that voting style. I don't get a vote, but I'm not a fan of that approach. Like John Cooper, does he not deserve a handful of Jack Adams trophies for his career? And he's been on the outside of making that acceptance speech. So the guys that I'm following right now, and with all due respect to Andre in Arizona, you've got Todd McClellan in Los Angeles. Marvelous job. Goalie-friendly environment. They're getting it done in a drastically non-traditional fashion. Bruce Cassidy coming off the Stanley Cup championship and has his team in first place. That doesn't happen these days. It didn't actually happen in Tampa. John Cooper, without his best player, without arguably the best player in the world, coming into this year for a quarter of the season. You got Pete DeBoer in Dallas and Jim Montgomery. That's my handful of guys who have done great jobs and were with their teams last year and continue to pump out the victories, which is fun to watch. That's my approach. I know Bob. Producer Bob loves the most improved category, and they went from outside the playoffs into contention, like what Derek Lalonde would be. Derek's great. He's been on the podcast. We love him. He's so entertaining. Check out that episode. What a storyteller, and just following his journey it is from last year. But these guys coaching contenders with expectations is a difficult task. Look what expectations have done to Buffalo. They came into the season with Detroit, with Ottawa, looking to take that next step. When you draft and you develop, there's a process to it. It takes some time, and when you hit and the guys start to really find their footing, it's so fun to watch. But then you get to the eventual point where there's expectations, and sometimes there's a plateau. Buffalo's plateaued right now, and they might need an injection of something else or just another year to get there. I find that Detroit went a different route. They added a lot of free agents and kind of sprinkled in some of their draft picks. And Steve Yzerman, it's a hit or miss on free agents, and it's almost instant. And we got Patrick Kane in the lineup. They hit on a lot of their picks, and they're going. Ottawa's a hybrid of the two, and there's no perfect route here. It's up to the players to do it. And right now, Detroit has sped up their process by the players that they've been able to add and have been successful through free agency, and we'll see what happens, or through free agency or trades, because we know what DeBrincat's meant to their hockey club. We'll see how much momentum they carry through to the end of the year with the acquisition and add of Patrick Kane. Actually, we'll get more details on that next week. Jake Wallman's going to join us, doing the gritty. He's got a bobblehead doll coming. We'll get him to take us inside that environment and see just what it's been like as they've worked their way into the mix in a very difficult Eastern Conference. It's madness in the Eastern Conference. I don't know whether it's because of the flat cap or not, but it's madness, the flat cap the last few years. That's bunched everybody together, and it's going to be absolutely sensational to watch. Much different than a couple of years ago when everybody, we knew at this point who the top 8 were going to be in. So we'll talk to Jake next week. Really appreciate Clayton joining us. Keep an eye on it. A playoff game at the Mullet. And who's the first person that's going to say, they got to move. They got to move it out to Glendale for the playoffs. They got it. There's no way if it happens that the Coyotes make the playoffs that they would leave that environment, even though it would obviously give you a lot more revenue, right? Thoughts for another day. Thanks to Bob, thanks to Clayton, and thanks to you for listening on The Chirp with Darren Millard.